This channel doesn't promote any illegal activities, and all actions performed in this video are performed for educational and entertainment purposes only.
Welcome to the meme coin space, where everybody loses coins, whether they're trying to either trade them or, actually create them. As many of you, I started on Pump.Fun and it did not end well. The learning curve for meme coin space, if I had to draw it on a graph, is basically like this. This is the level of profitability where you average at around zero, and this is where you actually make, like 7K within your first month of, actually launching coins. But other than that, you're still below the average line, which is why you probably clicked on this video, and I'm here to help you with, solving this mystery of the meme coin space in general, and for once and for all, hopefully. So, as you guys may know, you can either launch or trade the coins themselves, and I don't want you to be the person who loses a shit ton of money by trading meme coins. So, now that we have gotten this out of the way, how do we actually, launch them? How do we launch a coin successfully? There's the simple way to do it, which is where everybody most likely started in this space, which is Pump.Fun. However, with Pump.Fun, the DEX is super saturated. If you go onto Photon and you register the DEXs for Pump.Fun, you can see that coins are created every single second, and that the initial liquidity is always the same and it's always locked. The market cap is also around the same. So for your project to really stand out, you have to, be a real professional in this sense. However, then there's the raydium DEX. The raydium DEX is much better in every single metric for you to see. I will put these filters on right now, and you can see that these coins are launched, first of all, much less frequently, and overall have much better stability in their coins. Some coins like this one, for example, are at $69 liquidity and 105K market cap. So this is something for you to consider, because at launches, it's the most important time for you to, actually pay attention to what's happening for your coin, because you're no longer going to be a trader who just takes a quick trade right here, enters, and then tries to ride the wave. You're going to be the dev holding all of this liquidity and make sure that, the coin does well on its own, because it's the raydium DEX, because everybody trusts coins on raydium. Unlike Pump.Fun, nobody's going to buy into your coin no matter how good your idea is. So we can close this for now. So the question arises, how do we launch on raydium? How do we launch on raydium? How do we launch on raydium? This is the question I get asked a lot. We are not high-end developers, because for raydium you need to be a coder. However, I have found a way to bypass the coding, needs. You don't need to be tech savvy. All you actually need to do is go to this website that I found. I'm not affiliated with them in any sort of way. However, it's a Solana token creator that requires no coding. So as you would, for example, you would come up with your token name, token symbol, come up with a good narrative. You would come up and you would pick your, let's say, good fitness, or, meme coin niche, or, real estate niche. You can literally do it within any meme of any niche, but like it has to be a bit more brain rot, maybe like an anime niche. It doesn't really matter. And then you would click next. You would keep all the decimals locked in place as they are. The total supply 1 billion, the decimals at 9, and your token description I would normally go for GPT, and then you would ask it for a Gen Z style description, and let's say you want to keep it at 20 words. So 20 words. Then you would click next. This is where you would input your website or fake Twitter if you want to have a fake Telegram channel. And you don't have to keep this on, because nobody looks at like creator information anyway. This is just something that is a feature on this platform. You don't have to keep this on. These three, however, you must keep on, because if you don't revoke mint, revoke freeze, and revoke update authorities, nobody's going to buy into your coin, because as you can see here, this guy has, let's say, boom, like blue ticks or green ticks, if you could say so. and this guy has no money in his coin because he didn't revoke the mint, the freeze authority, and other options because he's a retard apparently. Because this means that people cannot trust their money within your coin because you can just mint the tokens, you can print more supply and fuck people over. So make sure that these are not grayed out, that these are selected. And from there on, you just click create token. You select your wallet, you connect your wallet over here. I can connect mine real quick if you guys don't believe me. This website is not checked by Phantom yet. However, I connected my wallet. I've created tokens on this myself many times before, and it does wonders. So after you do this, your coin is going to go live, but before it actually appears here on the Raydium DEX on Photon, for example, or DEX Screener, you are going to have a managed liquidity. You're going to have your token that you created right there. It's going to cost you a couple of Solana. It's not even going to cost you a full Solana right now. It's going to cost you like 0.3 Solana to create the token. After you've created the token, you've come up with a good description. You're going to click it here, and then you're going to click create liquidity pool. With the liquidity pool, you are going to keep all the numbers, the supply at 1 billion, and you're just going to make sure that you put anywhere from 0.2 to 0.3 Solana within your coin. I can probably show you a demonstration video of me doing so. You click 90%, so out of the 1 billion, you control 900 million tokens. This is pretty straightforward. This is the part where you make money. So here, depending on how much you control, like, it depends how much money you make. So before anything happens and you make a lot of money with other people buying into your coin, you have to first put some money into your own coin. So you don't have to worry, you will get this money back. I recommend anywhere from 0.2 to 3.5, or sometimes 1 Solana is fine. So you just put 1 Solana, or however much you want. You can do 0.3. You click create pool. And again, there's going to be some warning signs. Don't worry. This website is like brand new, so it's not checked by Phantom officially yet. So what you will need to do is basically wait until it creates. So otherwise, if I don't, you just go in here and you click create liquidity pool. After you create liquidity pool, you go in on your coin. You can copy the address, or you can just see it pop up over here. And after it does so, you can watch the graph grow. Like this one, for example, you would sit here and you would wait to see how it does. After you get some buys, let's say it goes up, you can see how much liquidity. For example, this guy has 1.3k dollars in liquidity. This liquidity is going to show in your liquidity pools over here. This website, I'm going to show you how to make money with it. Right now, you are going to click refresh after your token has been up for, let's say, 2 minutes to 7 minutes, and you're going to click remove liquidity. There's going to be a little minus button here. I don't condone any of these actions myself. However, if you were to do this, you would make a shit ton of money, and all of the liquidity that is in this coin would go directly back into your wallet. This is not something that I condone. This is all AI generated. I don't do this myself. However, if you were to do this, you would become unimaginably rich. There's also a brain dead function on this website for those of you who don't want to think. It takes coins from, let's say, failed coin. You can even click here on the button and it's going to take you straight to Pump.Fun. What it does, it takes coins that are pretty successful on Pump.Fun, and since the meme coin space is very fast in general, you don't want to waste time. You can just click create coin. Again, in the same sense, like I don't have Solana in my wallet right now, you would create it and then create the liquidity pool for it as well, and then wait a couple of minutes and then go back to liquidity and then click refresh and then minus all the liquidity, so you're basically draining it. this is for those of you who don't want to waste time coming up with a photo, coming up with a name, coming up with a description. This option is also there. So use this video as you may. Again, no actions condoned. And I don't personally recommend doing anything this myself. But if you were to do this, you would be unimaginably freaking rich. I will come up with a more detailed guide for the future, so make sure you follow my channel and leave any questions that you may have unanswered. I will answer them in future videos. Thank you very much.